Before we get into this one, if you could just hit that sub button down below, it'd mean a massive amount to me. We hit that 351 we wanted to by Christmas, but we're trying to get to 400 by New Year now, so smash that sub button and you'll get plenty more content in the future regarding Leeds and all things football. Let's get into the video. So this video is about John Swift, who Leeds have been rumoured to be signing in the January window, and I'm going to look at him today, what he's about, where he plays and what sort of player he is, to see if he would actually help save our season. So who is John Swift? Well, John Swift is a number 8 / central midfielder who plays for Reading. He has played deeper in the past. He's played a couple of times at a defensive midfielder this season, and he's played a couple of times further forward as well. He's usually, though, attacking midfielder. He's 26 years old and he's right-footed, and his contract runs out on the 30th of June 2022. Now, that means that he's only got 6 months left on his contract, and given that he's not signed a new deal, it seems unlikely that he will sign a new deal before the summer. This often means that you can get players for a cheaper price because the bargaining chip is with the purchaser, so hopefully we could get a good deal on him. Transfermarkt currently rates his value at £5.4 million, but like I've said, with the little bit of a skew that his contract runs out in summer, we could be looking at somewhere in the region of £10 million, because obviously market value is never what the club actually asks for. So now we get into the stats that you really want to hear. 8 goals and 9 assists in 21 championship appearances this season for Reading. Reading, who are actually sat 1 point above the drop, due to, though, a 6-point deduction because of a profit and sustainability breach in the championship. So he's doing it for a team that are right down there. Granted that they've given a 6-point deduction, but he's still doing it for a team where he is the top goal scorer and top assister as a central midfielder. So now we know the basics of who John Swift is. What sort of player is he, and how would he fit Leeds' system? Well, he's a creative midfielder, and on average he has 3 key passes per 90 minutes, and a key pass is a pass that results in a chance on goal. He's also strong at carrying the ball, with 1.9 out of 3 attempted dribbles successful per 90 minutes, so essentially 2 out of 3 dribbles. So we know that he likes to carry the ball, and from footage I've seen as well, you can see that he's a good dribbler of the ball, he's good at retaining possession, and he is good at beating a man. Swift generally takes his shots from inside the box, with 7 out of 8 of his goals this season coming inside the box, and only 1 outside, of course. So this indicates to me that he likes to make a lot of third man runs, and that's definitely confirmed by the footage that I've seen of him. He likes to pass the ball off, and then he likes to make runs into the box, which then helps out the striker for having extra bodies in the box, and it creates more sort of havoc for the defence to deal with. And he's got a fair few goals off of this season, like I say, 8, the most at Reading. Now if you look at the heat map on screen now, you'll see that he is absolutely all over the pitch, but the darker orangey red patches are where he spends most of his time. So I'm just looking at it now, hence why I'm not looking at the camera. He spends a lot of his time on the left-hand side of the pitch and floating into central areas. But if you look at the extremities of the pitch where he gets back, it shows that he moves all around the pitch to pick up the ball. He's not afraid to come and get the ball, try and get his team out of danger, and that's something that is massive for Leeds United, because a lot of the times this season we have just given the ball away in silly areas, and we do like to play a lot of small intricate passes to get out of danger. It's not been going great for us this season, so maybe an extra body in there that can come and play nice tidy passes would be a massive help for us, and I definitely think it would. Reading play 381 short passes per game and 61 long passes per game on average, and Swift will be used to playing in similar passing patterns then, not in terms of the exacts that Bielsa asks of him, but in terms of the fact that he'll be playing those short, sharp, intricate passes. Just backs up the point from before about the fact that he likes to float about all around the pitch, come and pick up the ball, and he's not scared to receive the ball with a man on his back and pass it off and retain possession. So that's definitely a positive side for the way Leeds play. Now we come on to the side that I think is a little bit more iffy about this player in terms of what Bielsa would want from him. When we come on to the defensive aspect of his game, granted he's playing as an attacking midfielder for Reading, but with 0.3 tackles per 90, it's very low for interceptions as well, with I think he was 0.1 interceptions per 90. This could be to do with the system that he plays in and what he's being asked to do by the coach. But I also think that with a player like him, he's 26, he's just coming into his prime. I think he would be more than capable of adapting to a different system and adapting to a new challenge. And he's a I would say a Premier League standard footballer. So I think that he could adapt to that challenge, and I think he could also do the extra running that Bielsa wants of him. Whether he's fit enough straight away is a different matter, because you kind of need January signings to work instantly. But there's not that much data to show the pressing stats of Championship players, so unfortunately it's still a bit of an unknown with him. But the stuff that we've got from the rest of his game, I think, is overall positive, and it shows that he's the sort of player who would definitely be a good backup to Rodrigo. And whilst Rodrigo's not playing, he would be someone who is a perfect replacement. So in summary then, is he a player I want at Leeds United? Yes. Does he solve all of Leeds' problems? No. Would he help our creativity from midfield? Definitely. The price we could get him for, given the current situation at Reading, we could get him for a good price. But another thought I've had is that also Reading could push back because they're just above the drop. And sometimes a team will say, right, well, I'd rather not get £10 million for this player and wait till the end of the season and let him run out of contract if he saves us and if he keeps us up, because they are just above the drop. And teams do sometimes do that, and I think Reading probably would be in big trouble if they didn't have John Swift in their central midfield areas creating and scoring goals, given that he's their top scorer and assister. But then I think the fact that they're in a bit of financial difficulty anyway because they've breached the fair play rules in the Championship, profit and sustainability, I think maybe they would have to take the money. If they were in a good position in the league and financially stable, then they could probably push back a little bit more. But the fact that they're already under pressure from the authorities in terms of their profit and sustainability, that £10 million could help balance the books for them, and they just have to hope that they had other players that stepped up, because I think they're more than capable of being above there in the league. I think it's the 6-point deduction has obviously taken them down. I think they're a mid-table Championship side really, so I think they'd probably be fine without him, but I would like to see him at Leeds United for a decent price and maybe a little bit of budget left over for another player to come in January. So that's my thoughts on John Swift really. I hope you've enjoyed this one. It's almost a similar sort of style to the last video I did where I did mention John Swift. So if you haven't seen that one, go check that out. That's me explaining the criteria in which Leeds sign players. What do we think about? What sort of things do these players have to be? Age, all these sorts of things that play into it. So I think that's quite an interesting watch. So if you're more into the financial side and the transfer side of football, go and watch that one. But if not, I'll see you again in the next one. So as I won't be seeing you before Christmas again after this one, I hope everybody has a lovely Christmas and just don't think about Leeds too much. See you in the next one.